Welcome to the Leadership Spark podcast, where we equip you to be the great leader your people deserve. This is Corey, and today we're going to kick off a focus over the next several days on the 10 lies about leadership. Yes, there are lies about leadership. There are myths that we can believe about leadership. Maybe there are things that people told us in the past about what leadership is, or maybe what it's not. But these are some of the common lies that we can believe about leadership. And so what I want to be able to do is talk about over the next several days what these 10 lies are. So I'm going to identify the lie. I'm going to talk about the truth. I'm going to share with you a real world example of what this looks like in action. And then I'm going to give you a practical application to go and do that you can take to be able to combat against this lie so that you don't believe it and it ends up limiting your leadership impact. And so over the next few days, we're going to talk about the 10 lies. Today, we're going to start with lie number 1. This is a myth. And the lie is this: leaders are born, not made. That leadership is something that is inborn within someone, a talent that only a few super naturally gifted people possess. And those people who possess this leadership gene, so to speak, they're the ones who can lead and everybody else can't. And so that is something that we can believe about leadership, is that, oh, it's just a born leader and leaders are born. They're not made. But here's the thing about leadership that we need to understand, is that leadership is a learned skill. Every single person can learn skills that will allow them to be an effective leader, that will allow them to influence others or have an impact or take on responsibility, whatever that may be. Anybody can develop that through intentional growth, having a very intentional plan for how you want to grow, reflection, and practice. And if we're doing those things, we can develop leadership skills. It doesn't matter if we were born with those skills or not. We can develop those leadership skills. And here, I want to share an example with you of a company that everyone knows, Starbucks. Howard Schultz, founder of Starbucks. He grew up in Brooklyn, New York. He was very poor, and he worked his way up as a salesperson to ultimately leading a global brand of Starbucks, which is on every corner that you drive by. But here's a person who didn't have everything in place to be able to perform at the highest level or be a great leader, but he learned empathy, he learned communication, he learned vision and how to cast it. And over time, he developed these skills that allowed him to lead this global brand of Starbucks. And so you can do the same. Leadership is not just about people being born with leadership skills. You can develop leadership skills. And so here's your practical application. You're going to is identify one leadership skill that you want to develop. One leadership skill that you want to develop. It could be active listening. It could be giving feedback. It could be vision casting, how to have a tough conversation, how to get things done through others. You fill in the blank. Pick one leadership skill that you want to develop and practice it daily for the next 30 days. Do something daily that will allow you to get reps with that skill every day for the next 30 days. While you're doing those reps, you want to also be reflecting on what you're learning and making pivots and adjustments along the way so that you can develop that skill and become competent and confident in doing that as a leader and applying what you learned. And if you go and do that for the next 30 days with intentional focus, you will be a better leader in 30 days. And so don't buy into this lie that leaders are born, not made. You can develop leadership skills.